Hey everybody, this is Steve at 1000-Year Home. So today I'm not building my 1000-year home. I am down in San Antonio, Texas, enjoying the Riverwalk here. My goal here is to capture little architectural accents in this area that I can use on the ranch as I'm building my mission, Spanish Mission, from those 2 shipping container homes. So, and it starts right away. I stepped out, I'm down at the Holiday Inn. Just step out, this little pergola. What a great idea, right? These are just regular 3x12s, I'm gonna guess, maybe hand cut, but they're cut thick. And then they plain, just a little sculpt in it, right? And you end up with this unmistakable Spanish Mission vibe. But the Riverwalk is extraordinary in itself, and there'll be a temptation for me to video all of the Riverwalk because it's such a pretty thing. But you know, even the wrought iron right here would be great for me to have a stair similar to that. But these cypress here, this little tree right here, I planted one of those by mine. And across the way you can see that's also the same thing. And I just don't know how big those are. But the base around that thing is going to be 15 feet around, maybe 12, 15 feet around. They're ginormous. So these are the kind of things you don't plant right next to the house. Could you imagine if if that little cypress I planted gets that big?
It will eventually.
I mean, it may, you know, if I do the other pond, I might plant another one by them. You know, they would be thirsty though, right? Yeah. So I'm not sure how big that will be. So anyway, we're after architectural stuff. So if you see something that I can do, not like a big building, but you notice that early on they used arches because they didn't, you know, they didn't have the iron when they first made these.
Well, and wasn't it just an easier way to...
Yeah, arch is a natural supporting load that you can build big things using arches, like the Coliseum, without any iron, right? And so the Riverwalk, it's been under construction for years, hasn't it, Leah? Yeah. So we used to come and go up those, but I'll cut back in and out, and then I'll staple this all together and make one little video. So this is always a San Antonio Riverwalk's always enjoyable for sure. So you know, this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for today. This is just poured concrete that's been texturized, right, and stained. And then when I do my Great Hall, I could do something like this. I think a lot easier than tile. And what I do, it'd be earth with then linseed oil over it, so it'd have a little gloss. And I thought, you know, about stamping something that has like a Middle Age or medieval tile, but maybe something like this would be more achievable for a man of my skills, right? Because I could just buy, I'm not sure how they knock this texture in there, but this is the kind of thing that would be cost saving because I use the dirt that's there and then add a little concrete, and then I'd end up with a stabilized floor poured right in place, you know. And once I get that warmed up, I could even bury my radiant heat in it if I need to. All right, so that's an idea. I talked earlier about how Spanish Mission cross sections with Art Deco and modern, right? Look at these things. These are very Scandinavian, the IKEA kind of, you know. The lamps are Art Deco-ish.
1,000 years, but you should get that one hotel that has the little gargoyles on it.
Gargoyles, yeah. So, you know, like the walls around it. Now, this is beyond my skill level, right? But I still could get like some of the or more of an organic vibe, right? Than this more ornate classical Spanish architecture. But I'd love to have my garage or something look similar to this, but not quite so formal. But I like the coloring too. That's the other thing I like about the Spanish art. They're not afraid to put a bold color on something. All right, now you don't really get tree size in a video, right? But I did plant, and I don't know if these are bulb cypress or not, but I did plant a bulb cypress. But how exciting if I'd have something like that after 1,000 years. Listen, when do you think these trees were planted? You think they're native?
Cypress?
These are cypress. Well, this base is 25 foot around, easy. 25 foot around, easy. I mean, 200-300 years would be my guess. Just based, well, what is that? 2.5 is that an inch? So 25, that's 12 times 25 would tell me how old this tree is.
Measure the tree and then divide the girth by 2.5 and give it an age in years.
All right,
so that's more than 25 feet around.
I said 25 feet around. So then per inch per year, then that's 300 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would make sense. So if I live for 300 years, there'll be a tree like that. And now that's a scary tree to try to cut down. So I did put these far away from the house. Well, you know, these are twisted. I thought they might be twisted rebar, but they're actually twisted steel. That's very interesting. And those are metal. These metal grates. All right. So these are the stylus steps that I even like how they poured this arch though, Leah. It's something that I hadn't considered, an open air steps. Again, I'm just getting ideas, but it was probably steel reinforced. Here it's chipped away so I can look in. I'm really not sure exactly what that is, but the tile were poured right in. That's repaired, right? That's repair work. But the tile were put in and then the cat was poured concrete. But I don't know what the substructure is. And then we'll go down to the old theater and it has a bunch of these too. There's quite a few stairs that are tiled. It's just something that hasn't occurred to me previously. Here's just a bench made of rough cut cedar. You know, out in the park, I've got these. I've got all of these cedars like this. That's a very cool little design. Yeah, this is the offcuts is what this is. When you square a log, then you've got this weird offcut. Yeah. Yeah, so I could do that. We'll try to make one. That'll be fun.
And even if they're thinner, we can make 2 slats to sit. Instead of one, we can make 2 thin ones.
Yeah, I really like that. So the San Antonio Riverwalk, these were built to keep flooding at bay. And they've really done a great job of making this a feature, right? And see, look at these drains. I kind of want something like that on my roof, you know, so that the water will... I don't know exactly what I was going to do, but I thought a trough where the water can get into and drain quickly. Yeah. Because when it pours, it pours.
Oh, yeah.
And getting that weight off the roof would be really advantageous. So, these cannas here are variegated. Ours are not variegated, but we can buy these. Yeah. And the nice thing about canna is canna can do water or not. So here's another stairs made out of tiles, and this one is flagstone. So that's very pretty. I wonder how long these wear. They last 1,000 years. Well, you would just pull off the flagstones and redo them. Probably depends on the traffic, right? Beautiful. Did you notice what bridge this was? I didn't notice as we went over it. Leah and I were saying we've been here, both of us, many times, but this is the first time we've been here after rain, and the sidewalks are a little wet, and I'm a little nervous of falling in. It is not. The temperature, it's 84. I looked when we left, it's 84 right now. One thing I like about San Antonio, and you know what, in Arizona they are good at this too, little decorative florals and everything. Lavaro Street's not just a sign there, right? But it's got those little herringbone patterns there that match the bridge, the girder work of the bridge. It's just a real good eye for harmony. The subtotal is just made better by all of the little parts. That's the kind of eye for quality, you know, you start with a shipping container home. Why not spend a little bit extra on things like that that adds real value without excessive cost? One thing we could talk about is the frog and duck pond. And keeping it clean so it's not all bad. Is this kind of stuff invasive? Yeah, well look, it stops here. It doesn't really seem to go out. But you know, that's a good way when the water comes crashing in during a storm, it fills this up and it will catch silt, and I do see a little bit of trash, but flowers in there. It's pure pretty. This has been my experience my whole life with foam builds. Well, they do go up fast. They always end up abandoned and disregarded. It's just not what humans want to see. We want to see rocks and earth and organic things. So this would be a pretty little fountain if it was operable. And maybe they're working on it, but I'm going to say the foam is not rewarding. So you see those spouts at the top? My roof will need little corbels like that to run water. So I'm getting ahead and capturing. Those are just cinder blocks that they knocked the edge off, I think. Maybe they're stone. Well, it's definitely round. It's not right square at all. Now across the plaza here is the Alamo, and look, there aren't very many people. It might already be closed today, but we can still probably walk the grounds, or maybe they got the gates closed. But what I wanted to look at was the outbuildings today. Now you can't film inside because what they say it's a graveyard.
Yeah.
They consider it sacred, so they don't do that. What's down in here? Wall fountain of Adobe bricks. Hey, that's what I'm doing, and I can't see anything that I want to videotape in there. So yeah, this was what, a couple of 100 acres. It wasn't just that building. But what do you think about these kind of benches? Just, you know, they would be earth baggy, right? You would just pile them up and call it a day. I do like them, and they've got them all different sizes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've never seen. Hey, didn't the street used to be open?
It's now open.
Ah, this is so much better. Oh. Now see, this kind of stuff is exactly what I'd like to do. Wow, look at this thing. Very cool. And there's the stockades. So, I mentioned bringing up a tape measure. Like, those logs are probably 14 feet across, and this thing looks more than 14 feet. This looks 20 feet. But they're not carrying a load, they're just holding the walls upright, tying the logs together. So this is interesting to me because I've always thought the Gonzales Come and Take It cannon was small, but this says that it's a replica of one or two, including the Come and Take It cannon. 6-pounder. This thing's, yeah, this thing's 5 foot off the ground, right? It is a sizable piece of equipment. I'd be afraid to rush a 6-pound cannon looking at me. Just having it peek out the portal at you like that would make you think of it.
Cannon from Come and Take It.
Gonzales, yeah. I've seen old movies, 6-pounder, huh? Man, they in Hollywood didn't even try. They had a little tiny half-size thing, and that was my childhood. I had the wrong cannon my whole life.
Stucco around it?
Yeah, that's not wood. This is that's probably ferro cement that somebody just took the time to sculpt in, and then, you know, it's probably wrapping a metal beam, but maybe just laminate or something else that's, you know, not ancient. But that's a good look. You know, they pull it off. From a distance, it generally feels like that's wood. Those might be concrete too. Look at the knots, how they're weird. I think those might be concrete, but they nailed them. So this style, I don't have access to stone, so my work needs to be Adobe. Will not be nearly this ornate. And the missions, as you go out of San Antonio, they get much more simplistic. And ultimately, they're not, I don't think they're real well cared for way out. Now, that's no indictment on the National Park Services, right? Maintaining something like this is a big deal. But I love the wood. And notice that it's just patterns of squares on the door. Those little alcoves, I could do those, right? I couldn't do the scallop at the top, but I could do the little alcove. Just a vibe, just a hint. This, how nice. I think I'm gonna go set and sign off. I'm running out of battery here. All right, well, this is Steve at 1000 Year Home. So just a little poke around San Antonio. We got here around 4, I suppose.
Yeah.
A big rainstorm, the weather's cleared. So there's a lot more things to see and do here, and maybe I'll do another video on this. But I just want to do a little quick architectural compilation because I'm to the point of doing style and design. And so some of these things will be inspirational for me, and some of them are just simply cool, but beyond my skill level. So like, subscribe, follow me along. Thanks much. Bye.